Listen up, because what I'm about to share with you could change your child's financial future forever, and there's a critical deadline approaching that you absolutely cannot afford to miss. Right now, there's a massive program rolling out that could put hundreds or even thousands of dollars into an investment account for your children or grandchildren. But here's what nobody's really explaining clearly. This program has evolved significantly from what was originally announced, and if you don't act quickly, you could miss out entirely. Let me break this down for you in plain English. The federal government, working alongside some incredibly wealthy philanthropists, has created what they're calling Trump accounts, though the official name is the Working Families Tax Cut Program. The core idea is revolutionary. Instead of every child in America starting their adult life at zero or worse, buried in debt, they'll have an investment account that's been growing and compounding for up to 18 years. When this program was first announced months ago, it was exclusively designed for newborns, specifically babies born between January 1st, 2025 and December 31st, 2028. The government promised a $1,000 initial deposit for each qualifying child. That alone was exciting news for new parents. But then something extraordinary happened that completely changed the game. Michael and Susan Dell, the founders of Dell Technologies, made a historic philanthropic move. They donated more than $6 billion specifically to expand this program beyond just newborns. Thanks to their contribution, children up to age 10 can now receive a $250 starting deposit. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why is the Dell money less than the government money? That's a fair question. The government's $1,000 is focused on giving brand new babies the maximum time for compound growth. The Dell contribution is designed to help the millions of children who would have been completely left out of this program otherwise. Here's the critical part that everyone needs to understand. The Dell money is strictly limited to the first 25 million eligible children who claim it. Once those 25 million spots are filled, that money is gone, period. This is why I'm emphasizing the urgency here. Think about it this way. There are approximately 73 million children in the United States right now. If we're only talking about kids aged 10 and under, that's still roughly 40 million children potentially competing for 25 million spots. This is genuinely first come, first served. Let me walk you through the requirements for the Dell donation portion, because these are deal breakers. First, the child must be age 10 or under and possess a valid Social Security number. No exceptions. If your child turns 11 before you can file the paperwork, they're out of luck for this bonus money. They might still qualify for the government portion if they're born within the eligible window, but that $250 Dell contribution, gone. Second, the child must reside in a zip code where the median household income is below $150,000 annually. This is an income targeting mechanism designed to ensure these funds reach working and middle-class families who need them most. You can check your zip code's median income through the U.S. Census Bureau website. This isn't about your personal income, it's about your neighborhood's average. Third, and this is the big one, you must claim it before those 25 million spots are filled. The government has acknowledged that many parents won't even know they need to claim this money. They've indicated that if a significant number of spots remain unclaimed, they may increase the age limit to allow older children to become eligible. But that's not guaranteed, and it's not something you should count on. I need to address the biggest misconception I'm seeing everywhere online. People are asking, when will the check arrive in the mail? Or can I use this money to pay my rent? The answer is no. Absolutely not. This is not stimulus money. These Trump accounts are a specialized type of individual retirement account, essentially a locked investment vehicle. By federal law, the money deposited into these accounts must be invested in the American stock market, specifically in index funds that track major market indicators like the S&P 500. The entire philosophy behind this program is compound growth. That $1,000 or $250 sits in the market for 15, 18, or even 20 years, riding the waves of economic expansion. if historical market trends continue, that initial $1,000 could potentially grow to $3,000, $5,000, or even more by the time your child reaches adulthood. But here's the trade-off. That money is completely locked until your child reaches age 18. More specifically, they can access it starting January 1st of the calendar year in which they turn 18. The accounts follow the same distribution rules as traditional IRAs, which means penalty-free uses include higher education expenses, college, trade school, vocational training, first-time home purchase, down payment, closing costs, starting a business, initial capital, equipment licensing. Retirement savings can remain untouched until age 59 and a half. If your child withdraws the money for anything else, they'll owe ordinary income tax on the entire balance, plus a 10% early withdrawal penalty to the IRS. That penalty is steep and intentionally designed to discourage frivolous spending. So, while this is an incredible opportunity, it's not liquid cash. It's a long-term investment in your child's future. Here's something most people are completely missing. The government's initial deposit and the Dell contribution are just the starting point. This program allows and actually encourages additional contributions from multiple sources. You, as a parent or grandparent, can contribute to your child's Trump account. While the exact annual contribution limits are still being finalized, early guidance suggests these will mirror or exceed traditional IRA contribution limits. Employers can participate too. If you work for a company that chooses to participate in this program, your employer can contribute up to $2,500 per year into your child's account. The genius part? That money doesn't count toward your taxable income right now. It's essentially a tax advantage benefit that goes directly to your child's future. Imagine this scenario. You work for a progressive company that offers this benefit. Your employer puts in $2,500 every year from when your child is born until they're 18. That's $45,000 in contributions alone, not even counting market growth. Combined with the government's initial $1,000 and your own contributions, you're looking at a potentially life-changing amount of money. Some financial experts are already calling this the most significant generational wealth-building tool since the introduction of the 401k. Here's the calendar you need to mark up immediately. July 4th, 2026. This is the magic date. This is when the registration system goes live and when you can file your claim for these accounts. Not before, not after. Mark it. Set reminders. Write it on your bathroom mirror if you have to. You cannot open these accounts or make contributions before this date. Any website or service claiming you can start earlier is likely a scam. And yes, scammers are already circulating. For newborns born between January 1st, 2025 and December 31st, 2028. You'll file for the $1,000 government deposit using IRS Form 4547 when you file your annual tax return. For children age 10 and under, you'll use the same form to claim the $250 Dell contribution. But remember, first come, first served on those 25 million spots. Let me be crystal clear about this. This is not automatic. The government will not magically open an account for your child. You must take action. The key document is IRS Form 4547. This form will be filed alongside your regular tax return. If you use tax preparation software like TurboTax or H&R Block, they'll likely integrate this form into their systems by tax season 2027. If you use a professional tax preparer, make sure you inform them about your intention to open a Trump account for your child. Give them your child's social security number and be prepared to provide proof of residency in an eligible zip code. Now, here's an important question that's still being worked out. What if you don't normally file taxes? What if your income is low enough that you're not required to file? The current guidance suggests that having a child eligible for this program doesn't require you to be a taxpayer, only that the child meets the eligibility requirements. However, you'll still need to file Form 4547. For families in this situation, I strongly recommend contacting a VITA, Volunteer Income Tax Assistance. Volunteer. These are IRS-certified volunteers who provide free tax help to people who make $64,000 or less. Visiting your local IRS Taxpayer Assistance Center, calling the IRS helpline specifically to ask about filing Form 4547 as a non-filer. Don't let the paperwork intimidate you. There will be resources available to help. Let me walk through some specific scenarios. Scenario 1. You're expecting a baby in 2025. Congratulations. Your child is eligible for the full $1,000 government deposit. When you file your 2025 taxes in early 2026, you won't be able to claim it yet. Remember, registration opens July 4th, 2026. You'll file for it with your 2026 tax return in early 2027. Scenario 2. You have a 7-year-old child. Your child qualifies for the $250 Dell contribution if you can get your claim in before 25 million other families. This is where that July 4th, 2026 date becomes critical. Be ready. Scenario 3. You have an 11-year-old. Unfortunately, your child is just outside the age limit for the Dell contribution. However, if enough spots remain unclaimed, there's a possibility, not a guarantee, that the age limit could be raised. Stay informed. Scenario 4. You're a grandparent. This is a fantastic opportunity to help your grandchildren. While the initial government Dell deposits go to the parents, there's nothing stopping you from making contributions to your grandchild's account once it's established. This could be an incredible legacy gift. Scenario 5. You live in a high-income zip code. If your zip code's median income exceeds $150,000, your child won't qualify for the Dell $250 contribution. However, children born in the eligible date range can still receive the $1,000 government deposit regardless of zip code income levels. Step back and think about what this program represents. For the first time in American history, we're attempting to ensure that every child, regardless of their parents' wealth, starts adulthood with something. The wealth gap in America is staggering. The median net worth of white families is nearly 10 times that of black families and 8 times that of Hispanic families. Much of this comes down to generational wealth, or the lack thereof. These Trump accounts won't solve wealth inequality overnight, but they're a step toward ensuring that every 18-year-old has options. Maybe it's enough for a down payment on their first home. Maybe it's seed capital for their business idea. Maybe it's what keeps them from drowning in student loan debt. For children born into poverty, that $1,000 growing for 18 years could be the difference between being trapped in the cycle or having a chance to break free. As with any large government program, there are concerns. Market risk. These accounts are invested in the stock market. If we hit a major recession right when your child turns 18, their account value could be significantly reduced. However, the long-term historical trend of the market is upward. Inflation. Will $1,000 today have the same purchasing power in 2043? Probably not. But compound growth should outpace inflation if historical trends continue. Scams. I guarantee you that scammers are already creating fake websites to help you claim this money. Never give your social security numbers or financial information to any third party claiming to expedite this process. File directly through the IRS political changes. This program was established under the current administration. Could a future administration modify or eliminate it? It's possible, though unlikely, once millions of accounts are opened. This program is still evolving. The Treasury Department is releasing new guidance regularly. Private donors beyond the Dells may step forward with additional contributions. The age limits could change. The contribution limits could be adjusted. Make sure you stay informed through official channels, the IRS website, irs.gov, the Treasury Department's official announcements, your tax professional, reputable financial news sources, your action plan, what to do right now. Mark your calendar for July 4th, 2026. Verify your eligibility, check your child's age and your zip code's median income, gather documentation. Make sure you have your child's social security number and birth certificate accessible. Talk to your employer, ask if they plan to offer Trump account contributions as a benefit. Educate your family, minus make sure grandparents, aunts, uncles, and other relatives understand how this works. Set reminders, minus don't let this slip through the cracks. Consult a tax professional, minus especially if your financial situation is complex. Whether you have a newborn, a toddler, or a 10-year-old, this program represents an unprecedented opportunity. Yes, there are limitations. Yes, the money is locked for years. Yes, you have to do paperwork. But think about it this way. What would having even $3,000 or $5,000 have meant to you when you turned 18? Would it have changed your path? Given you options you didn't have? That's what this is about. Giving the next generation options. The clock is ticking on those 25 million Dell-funded spots. Don't let your child be number 25,000,001. Remember, July 4th, 2026. Mark it. Own it. Be ready. This information is current as of December 2025 and is subject to change as new Treasury guidance is released. Always consult with a qualified tax professional for advice specific to your situation.